low income apartments, you know, when I was in 3rd grade. And so everybody in the apartments is living the same.
Yeah.
You know,
so
like,
you don't know any different.
Yeah. And so, like, of course you'd clown the kid who's, like, poorer than you.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, screw with him. But, like, it was all, you're all in the same damn boat.
Yeah.
You know, so you never really thought of it. And even the guys that were older than you, they would join the military and they'd get kicked out, like, a month later. They didn't even, like, pass boot camp or anything. And so when I signed up, they're like, yeah, we'll see you in a month. You know, like, you ain't gonna do it.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, I just want to see if I could do it, you know, like, because everybody I knew that even if you did all right, you would go to the junior college and your ass was there for 6 or 8 years. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm not trying to play that game either. Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, and I joined the military and got my honorable discharge and just took off. Yeah. And it was just keep at it, you know, because even when, like, the first 6 years and I was absolutely lost and, like, had no idea what the hell was going on. And even I was asking my dad, like, why isn't shit clicking? He's like, I don't have an answer for you, you know? And that was the honest answer, you know? But, like, you had to keep at it. You had to keep trying. And now looking back, I'm absolutely thankful I lost my house.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because when guys come to me now, you get it. Yeah. You know? It's not just like, oh, poor dude. Like, I get that.
Absolutely.
You know?
I say all the time, you know, because... Man, I've had some downs.
Right.
I've had some downs.
Right.
And, you know, I needed those downs.
Yeah.
So,
they make you who you are.
The people that I've helped needed me to have those downs.
100%. And so, like, you can't, I always tell people you can't look back and say, I wish this never happened or I wish this never happened. Because maybe that thing changes who you are now.
1,000%.
You know?
Yeah.
And so, like, thank God it happened.
Yeah.
And
there's a movie called Sliding Doors. It's an old movie. I think Gwyneth Paltrow's in it. But the concept is she misses the train and then it kind of goes into another universe where she doesn't miss the train and it explores the two lives that would have happened.
Right. Yeah. Just from that one spot.
Just from being late to the train.
Yeah.
You know? And it's completely different left to right.
100%. Because, like, what happened to me was I was working at the Central Valley Homeless Vets one day, and a lady from the Palo Alto VA came by and handed me a disability form and said, oh, you should file. But it was just a blank form, and you don't know what the hell you're filing for. And Palo Alto at the time, like, well, still, it's kind of far away. And so, like, if you needed to take a bus right there, you would take the bus, stay the night, and then come back the next day. And so I'm, like, not doing that. And my brother... My brother takes me, you know, and I go down this hallway. And it's almost like the hallway like at Sepulveda, you know, you see the different groups. Mm-hmm. But right when I turn down the hallway, there's a guy in a wheelchair with a leg missing. And behind him is a guy with an eye missing. And my problem was like a depression issue. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, man, quit being a bitch and just, you know, deal with it. And I turned around and walked out. And it took me like another 6 years to actually file. And I'm so thankful for it because, one, if I would have filed for it, I would have gotten it. Mm-hmm. And that would have helped me save the house, which would have kept me in Modesto. Yeah. And this would have never happened. Yeah. Two, I understood what it meant when, like, now with my job, like, if I tell you, no, come back tomorrow or something like that, I'm always worried that you're not going to come back for 6 years, you know? And so, like, I'm always trying to get those people. And so that's one reason my bosses always get on my ass about, like, you need to take lunch, you need to take breaks. But if you talk to anybody, you'll never see that. Yeah. Because I think you're more important than my sandwich. Yeah. You know? Yeah. I could eat when I get home. Yeah. You know? But right now, it's you and your family. And so that's where I get it, you're supposed to take lunch, and it's like, you know, like, laws and all that. But, like...
Yeah. You know, the good ones get it.
Yeah, you know, like... Get it. Like, it's...
But that's why your reputation precedes you. And I'm getting to know that right now.
Yeah.
Throughout this conversation. I do want to talk about homeless vets, right?
Yeah.
Because I have an issue with where we're at with how we can help homeless vets.
Right.
And the issue is that we can't, but we can. And what I mean by that is I can't pick up a guy right now off the side of the street and take him somewhere.
Right.
Can you help me through that? Because I've picked up guys and I said, hey, I'm going to go... When we were having these crazy storms, not this last time, but the year before,
yeah,
there was a guy in the back of AMPM, all his shit laid out, and I took all his wet, urine-smelled stuff, put it in my truck, loaded him up, And we went to the church, you know, and they're like, we can't take them. I'm like, you're a church. You're the house of God, you know?
Yeah.
They won't take them. Okay, well, let's go to this place. I went to 3 different places. Went to the VA. The VA is like, well, you know, he's got to go through this whole in process and da da da. What can I do, me, or the next person listening, when we come across a homeless vet in Los Angeles, or let's keep it to Los Angeles since we're here, right? But when we come across a vet in Los Angeles, what can we do at that moment in time?
What I think when it comes to the groups that really, really help, one I believe is the Volunteers of America, the VOA.
Okay.
I love those guys a lot, and I've seen them try. And that's
in Hollywood, right?
They're all around.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a few locations around here. But the thing that I like about them is that I've honestly seen them try. I've honestly seen them try to make efforts, and if they don't have the answer, they usually try to point you to another group.
Okay.
You know, another good group would be like PATH, which is people. I don't want to say people against the homeless, but it's like people for the homeless. You know, like they're there for you, and they're not bad either. And then you got U.S. vets.
Okay.
And then you got New Directions. But I believe the one I like is the Volunteers of America.
Okay.
And they definitely help out. And yeah, there are shelters and things like that. But the problem with shelters is you get these guys that are used to the status quo, you know, so they're not really trying to better themselves. And so if you're that person that's trying to get out, then usually those guys are the ones that are keeping you down because they're going to steal your stuff and mess around with and like just piss you off.
Yeah.
You know, so then you get in trouble for fighting or something.
Yeah.
But the VOA, like I think, like they have a beautiful spot on Hollywood Boulevard or Sunset.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of dudes that are around our age.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's a great spot. Like if you like now, like because I've been homeless before, but if I was homeless now, man, you got resources here.
Yeah.
And I'm talking like there's food places, there's places like at Sepulveda in West LA, there's clothing that you can get, and the clothing's not bad at all. Like I've seen guys like drop off like legit suits.
Yeah.
You know, and like decent clothing and everything. So like now free haircuts, all that stuff. But I think with the VOA, it's just incredible because they got people coming in there, so you don't have to like drive to come find me, you know. And they got their own little groups and stuff, and like they have a weight room in there and everything, and it's just vets helping each other. So like I know a lot of guys that stayed at that shelter or that home in Sunset with the VOA that now are doing incredible. They're doing better than me.
Yeah.
And like financially,
I just
and
actually
everything.
had a conversation with Denver Morris, which runs Merging Vets and Players. And he was telling me, that's why I asked if it was in Hollywood, because he mentioned it today, because he stayed there.
Yeah.
And now he's up and up.
Right.
You know, and he's doing he's hanging out with NFL players and
right.
stuff like
and
that.
So like I always like where you're at now has nothing to do with nothing when it comes to your future, because you have no idea. Because if you would have talked to me 5 years from now, you know, like in the past and said, where would you be now? Like I would have no idea.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all about taking care of each other. I really believe that. And there's all these groups, like even USC has their own little veterans collaborative.
Yep.
And Jim Center is like one of the best dudes you'll ever meet in your damn life. And that guy's incredible. And so like I always like, yeah, like you always see like when people say like I'm a decent worker and things, I don't think it's me really. I really believe it's the people that given me the opportunity. You know, so it's like Jim, like Sepulveda, like all the guys at Sepulveda, the VOA, they're giving me opportunity, you know. Even LA Film, John Powers over there, he has me help his students, you know, and it's because he knows I care.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to have your students go to somebody who's wasting their time.
Yeah.
And so they know that I care and they know that I'm trying. And that's the hard part that I'm having now at Sepulveda is I'm branching out more. Because one, I naturally get bored of being in the same spot forever. And so you got to, I think the way you learn is by learning other people's issues. Because if I just stayed at Sepulveda, then you're only dealing with that population, but you're not understanding the whole.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I go to San Pedro. That's why, like, we're trying to move out to Castaic. any which way, you know. So like when I talk to groups, I'm like, let me know, man. I'll go hang out.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a problem. Like you get to go hang out and BS with some like really cool dudes and file
see
some claims.
how everything functions there, and kind of pick it apart. Yeah, that's kind of how I, you know, because like I said, I don't know how I got that right, but it's just a matter of peeking my head in the door, and that's how I found the DAV.
Yeah,
you know,
and then somebody recognizes what
yeah.
you're doing and says, "Hey, this dude is legit. He deserves this." Because like I promise you, like, why did I become veteran of the game, man? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
but I've noticed now though, like if you go to the games now, it's called military, like veteran of the game or something. Like they changed it, you know?
Yeah.
And like I don't know, but like, but they changed the wording of it, and so like maybe it's now because they want more guys in uniform. But like if you look, like there's probably a little like
you set the bar for not wearing a uniform. Thanks a lot.
I know, right? Like, because I think, like, I bet you since, like, their whole history, there's only been, like, 5 of us that didn't walk in there with a uniform. Like, and of course, one of them's me. And I got, like, a giant head, right? Like a, like a big blow pop head, you know? Like the Jack in the Box commercials. Remember his son, like, when he was like, that's my son, number 54? Like, yeah. And, like.
Come on, man. It's realistically, you're pretty much proportioned. It's not big. You must have heard that, like, all while you were growing up, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's why you think that.
No, for sure. I definitely do have a big head. Like, my hat size proves that. Like,
what is it?
I think it's 7/3/4.
See, I got it. Well,
yeah, 7/3/4.
That's
like,
the same. I'm the same hat size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you hear it too, you know?
No, I never hear it.
Really? No, are you serious?
Never.
Dude. So to prove this point, my little niece turned 3, right? And so she got a little bicycle helmet. The helmet doesn't fit her head already, dude. Yeah. It fits her aunt who's like in her 40s. And it fit her dead on. You know? But if you have my blood, you gotta have a big ass head. Like, but like, so we're at the Dodger thing, you know, and you're like, have your hand over your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance, and the cameraman's behind me to like zoom in like this to get to the flag, right? But I swear to God, it took like 40 seconds to get past my big ass head to see the flag. And it's on this jumbo screen thing, and you're just like, dude, what the hell? Like, and so you're standing here like this trying to be cool, you know, and you're just like, that big ass head, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
magnified by 50, you know.
Yeah, so like everybody in the damn world's like, dude, what the hell? Like, just eclipse half the like infield. Like,
clown.
Yeah, you know, like, you're just like, oh man. Like, even my girl was just laughing at me about that.
All right. So, your role is to assist vets and their families filing claims, right?
Yeah.
And so, we're talking about disability claims,
missing medals.
Pension, missing medals.
Discharge upgrades.
Home loan stuff, right?
A little bit with the home loans. Like, I could apply for you.
Yeah.
But I really think when it comes to that, you should really talk to a real estate agent.
Okay.
You know, because then there's so many different variables. Like, I could get you the guarantee, like, little certificate saying, yeah, this dude's legit.
Yeah.
But after that, you really want to talk to somebody who does that stuff, because when it comes to, like, home loans, kind of hard. Yeah. Because there's so many different variables.
So, what are some of the benefits that we don't hear about that would be of interest to other vets?
I would say the biggest one that I'm in love with is the California college fee waiver. And that's for your kids. And for
your CALVet, right?
Yeah. And it's all through this for the state of California. And if you're 100%, then your wife can use it too. And the thing I like about that is what you see now, especially now, no matter where you're at, is like you see these kids. Imagine if you have a kid that's decent enough to go to college. Mm-hmm. You know, he's doing everything right. And then even now he graduates college and he's doing everything right. But by the time he gets that degree, he owes $100,000-$200,000 grand before he even got a job. And you're like, how is that being respectable for somebody who's doing everything right? Mm-hmm. And so to me, it's like if we get these kids on this college fee waiver, because you could have 20 kids and they'll all fall under it, you know? And so if we get these kids on this college waiver, then it doesn't matter if they get their master's or their doctor's degree in 15th century ballet. Cool, handle it, you know?
Does it pay up to, how far does it go?
It could go as high as it wants. So if you want to get your doctor's degree, handle it. You know, there's nothing in the law that says you have to stop. Mm-hmm. The major thing is if you're under the 100%, then the child has to stay under the low income limit. So like right now, I believe it's like $12,300, $12,600, somewhere around there. But other than that, they're good to go.
Yeah.
So they could still get financial aid. And I always tell my kids, go be a bartender or a waiter and pocket the tips.
Yeah.
So you could